What's up everybody, welcome back. So hope you're all having a lot of fun in the Great League edition of the Weather Cup. Personally, I've been having an absolute blast. It's such a cool meta, especially with only fire, water, ice and rock types that are allowed. And if you're still struggling to find a good team comp for this particular cup, I'd highly recommend giving this team comp a try. So in this video, I'm going to be trying out a double water, double grass line, basically featuring Swampert in the lead with Ludicolo as the safe swap and Abomasnow as the closer. Now, because only fire, rock, ice and water types are allowed, the obvious choice that most people would bring are water types. Most people have multiple water types in their team comp, which is why having double grass can really work in this team comp, right? Because people don't typically expect that second grass type, and Abomasnow and Swampert perfectly cover up for each other's weaknesses. And Ludicolo is an incredible safe swap because there's nothing really that hard counters in this meta. Even fire types, it only takes neutral against fire types and also does super effective damage with bubble. I'm not running Razor Leaf for neither of my grass types because I already have enough grass coverage in this team. It's just that the energy generation would really help, right? And of course, Swampert is the GOAT in any meta that it's a part of. So there was some really fun battles in here, and let's get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here, we have Swampert into a Talonflame. Absolutely beautiful lead right off the bat here. They make a switch into their Azumarill. I go into my Abomasnow because obviously Abomasnow has a pretty terrible matchup against Talonflame. So I'm just going to stay in here. I mean, we can comfortably let one of these moves go through. It is an Ice Beam which does neutral damage because of the Ice Grass typing. And I'm just going to go straight for the Energy Ball right now. There's no real point baiting in this matchup. And at this point, I'm probably going to have to shield one of these because, again, another Ice Beam would KO. And I definitely want to win switch advantage because I want my Swampert on their Talonflame, right? So I'm going to farm up as much as I can. I probably could have gone for the Weather Ball here, but I wasn't fully sure if that would fully take out the Azumarill, so I just went for the Energy Ball to be safe. I probably should have gone for Weather Ball there. Back in comes Talonflame as expected. I'm just going to go for another Weather Ball here just to try and do some chip damage. They're obviously not going to shield that. They're going to farm down. And at this point, they probably have a move, or they're close to a move. At this point, this could be a Brave Bird, so I'm definitely going to shield this up because that would absolutely one-shot a Shadow Swampert, right? And now they make a switch into their Politoed. I have a Ludicolo, and yeah, at this point, this game should be over, right? Even if they're running Blizzard, it's not that big of a deal, but they're actually not running Blizzard, looks like, so they actually do go for a Weather Ball, which is fine. I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam here to try and get a shield because I know they're going to shield. I don't want to go for the Leaf Storm and go for the debuff right away. I am running Leaf Storm because it's a better one-shot move. It has better one-shot potential against certain water types, right? And now I'm just going to go for the Leaf Storm here, and it doesn't matter what this move is. It's just going to be another Weather Ball, which is double resisted because of the grass water typing. And I can just go for the Leaf Storm right now. This is probably going to get the shield from the Politoed. And at this point, as soon as it gets the shield, I'm immediately going to switch in my Swampert and go for the Earthquake right now. Earthquake one-shots the Politoed. Back in comes Talonflame, and they decide to concede the match there. There was no way they were going to get to another move. Swampert could have gotten to a Hydro Cannon. And yeah, we start off with a pretty solid win. So moving on to the second battle here, we have Swampert into the mirror right now. So typically how I like to play this is I like to shield the first one and then I like to catch the second one on my Ludicolo. The reason I don't catch the first one is I'm not sure when they'll exactly throw, but typically most people throw the second one as soon as they get theirs. So I switch into my Ludicolo to catch the second Hydro Cannon here. This is double resisted because of the water grass typing, and now they make a switch into their Bastiodon. This is perfect, right? You definitely want to bait out the Bastiodon. You want to bait out certain rock types, fire types, etc. So that Abomasnow has a pretty clear path to sweep towards endgame. I go for the Leaf Storm there. It does get the shield, which is absolutely perfect. They probably thought that was a Hydro Pump, and they go for the Stone Edge. That's fine as well. And at this point, I'm actually going to come in with my Swampert here, obviously, but I'm just going to go for the Hydro Cannon right away to hopefully, again, my point is just to do some damage and try and farm down, but they actually end up shielding, which is very interesting. So I'm just going to go for the Earthquake here before they can get off another move. I could have probably overfarmed, but I was okay with it because I know they're going to come back with their Swampert. Anyway, I'm going to go into my Abomasnow here. This is too soon to be a Sludge Wave. It's just going to be a Hydro Cannon. It is a Hydro Cannon which we can comfortably survive, and they have another Mud Boy in the back. Like I said, most team comps have multiple water types, and they have a Whiscash. Whiscash is absolutely going to get one shot by the Energy Ball, and at this point I can just go for the Weather Ball here. This is going to be another Hydro Cannon, and honestly we still have a pretty much like a 70% health Swampert in the back. I just go for the Weather Ball. This will not fully KO, but it's going to almost KO, and one Powder Snow should be able to take it out there. So again, like I said, so many people have multiple Mud Boys or many water types in the back, and just having two grass types works perfectly. And Lanturn, honestly this whole team does so well against Lanturn. They make a switch in their Ludicolo. I was very slow to switch out, which is why Swampert took so much Razor Leaf damage. It definitely should have been a little bit quicker to switch out there, but I feel like the switch mechanics are a little bit clunky right now. I don't know if anyone else has observed that, or it's maybe I'm just slow switching out, but I've just observed that recently where, you know, I'm just not able to swap right away. There is like there's probably a second lag before I do it. But anyways, I'm just going to try and farm up as much as I can and go for the Weather Ball here against this Ludicolo to pretty much take it out there. And then if they come back with their Lanturn, they're not going to be able to farm down before I can get to an Energy Ball. So I go for the Energy Ball here. It's going to do massive, super effective damage. Actually does give the shield and also ends up being a CMP type, which is absolutely perfect for me, right? It is going to be a Surf, which is okay. I'm going to come in my Ludicolo right now. Now we do take neutral damage from Thunderbolt because of the water subtyping, but that's okay. It's not going to do too much damage. It's going to do quite a bit though, but definitely we can comfortably survive. I overfarm a little bit to make sure they don't catch. And I go for the Leaf Storm here. It will absolutely one-shot the Lanturn. And they have a Walrein in the back. And that is absolutely perfect. Honestly, this team is slightly weak against Walrein, but you definitely can hit for super effective with those grass moves. I go for the Leaf Storm, immediately switch into my Swampert here to go for the Hydro Cannon. And that's going to be taking out the Walrein there. So again, like I said, with certain energy and shielding scenarios, Walrein can definitely be beaten as well. So moving on to the next battle here, we have Swampert into the mirror. Once again, pretty much going to play it the same way here. Going to try and catch the second Hydro Cannon on my Ludicolo. So I'm just going to shield the first one right now. Obviously, it's going to do quite a bit of damage. And at this point, I'm just going to farm up a little bit. And this time, they actually don't throw. So this is probably going to be a Sludge Wave, which is why I decide to shield this up. But it's an Earthquake, which ends up working out really well for me. And they're still staying in, which is very interesting, right? The fact that they're not switching out tells me that they probably don't have any answers to Ludicolo. And I go for the Ice Beam there, again, because Ice Beam would be more than enough to KO. There's no reason to go for the Leaf Storm and get the debuff. And they have an Azumarill. As you can see, they just really don't have an answer to Ludicolo. The fact that they're bringing out an Azumarill against Ludicolo, it's pretty interesting. So I go for the Leaf Storm right now. It does massive, super effective damage. We don't have any more shields. They still have 2 shields. So I mean, we can let the play it off through. I'm just going to farm up as much as I can. And then I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam right now. This is obviously going to be enough to take out the Azumarill. They actually do shield that. So I'm going to do 1 extra bubble and catch the next move on Abomasnow just in case, because they were they're very weak to Ludicolo in the back, right? And they have a Whiscash in the back. So they pretty much had 3 water types, and you're asking for trouble there, especially when people have the double grass. I mean, you can get away with it because a lot of people don't bring grass, but I mean, if you have an Abomasnow or a Ludicolo of the team, there's no way you're going to win when that team comes. So they go for the Blizzard. That's absolutely fine. I come in with my Ludicolo right now, and I'm able to get to this Leaf Storm as well. Again, Leaf Storm is absolutely going to one-shot the Whiscash here. So back in comes Azumarill. There's nothing they can do right now, and they decide to concede the match there. So we start with the 5-0 set. I know these are some early rank battles. Like I said, I've just been doing like a few sets every week. I'm slowly making my way through, so hopefully I can make it ace or veteran sometime next month before the season ends. But anyways, moving on to the next battle here, we have a Razor Leaf Ludicolo. This is a very tricky situation. I switch into my own Ludicolo here but that's not a great matchup for me as well. But they switch into their Magcargo. This works out perfectly for me because we baited out the Fire type. This is exactly what you want, right? You want to bait out the Fire type with the Ludicolo. And honestly, Ludicolo doesn't have the worst matchup against Fire types, especially against Magcargo, which takes neutral against grass moves. So he managed to get a shield, which is really nice. And now I'm going to come in with my Swampert here, overfarm a little bit right now. I'm actually going to soak up a move because Swampert completely walls Magcargo, right? They go for the Overheat. That does quite a bit of damage. I'm going to actually fully farm down here. And I'm going to immediately switch into my Abomasnow because I know that Ludicolo is going to come back in. But they actually come in with their Lanturn, which is very interesting. Honestly, this ends up working out perfectly for me. I'm just going to shield this up because I need to keep my Abomasnow alive to take out their Ludicolo, right? So I'm just going to go for the Energy Ball here. Energy Ball does massive, super effective damage. And at this point, I can just go for the Weather Ball right now. This is probably going to get a shield from the Lanturn because they want to get off a move. But they actually don't give up a shield and they're able to get to a move as well. That was brilliant play on their part. Once again, I'm going to shield this up because again, like I said, the Razor Leaf damage, I'm really concerned about that. So I'm going to basically come in with my Abomasnow, farm up to 2 Weather Balls and go for the back-to-back right now. So the first Weather Ball should get the shield from the Ludicolo and hopefully the second Weather Ball puts it into Earthquake range. So as soon as I get this Weather Ball off, I'm immediately going to switch into my Swampert and go for the Earthquake here. Now even though Earthquake is resisted, coming from a Shadow Swampert with Stab, it's going to do more than enough damage to take out the Ludicolo. So they were very, very close to a move there. Honestly, if they'd farmed down the Abomasnow, that would have been tricky, but then Swampert would have won CMP in any case. So moving on to the next one here, we have Swampert against a Kingdra. Kingdra is also a bit of a tricky Pokemon to deal with for this team. I switch it to my Ludicolo. They come in with their Talonflame. Once again, absolutely perfect. We baited out the Fire type, which is not a bad matchup for Ludicolo because this bubble damage is doing super effective and Ice Beam is going to hit for neutral as well, right? Charge move coming through. I don't really care what this is. It's going to be a Flame Charge right now that does not KO. And I'm able to get to another Ice Beam as well. This is absolutely perfect, right? This is almost going to KO the Talonflame. Doesn't quite KO it though, and they managed to win switch advantage. I really would have liked my Abomasnow on their Kingdra. Unfortunately, they managed to win switch advantage and also come out of this match with a bunch of energy, and they bait me with a flame charge, which is not ideal. And I was actually trying to switch into my Abomasnow to catch the Octazooka, but I'm actually going to let it go through. It does massive damage against Swampert. Now going to come in with my Abomasnow right now, and they are still staying in, which is very interesting right now. So I'm just going to go for the Weather Ball here. Both Weather Ball and Energy Ball are neutral because of the Dragon Water typing on Kingdra, and I'm able to get to another Weather Ball as well because this is a Shadow Kingdra. This will KO from this range as it does there, and then out comes the Walrein right now. I can just go straight for the Energy Ball here. Charge move coming through. It's going to be an Icicle Spear. I'm definitely going to shield this up, and at this point I can just go for the Energy Ball, right? They're probably going to look to completely farm down, but then again Swampert has a move, and Swampert is going to win CMP tie against Walrein, so it's not that big of a deal here. They have a lot of energy, but it doesn't really matter because we win CMP here. We have a Hydro Cannon ready to go, and even though this is resisted, it's going to do more than enough damage to take out the Walrein from this range. Like I said, Walrein definitely a little bit of tricky proposition, but then again, if you have energy and shield advantage, you definitely it's definitely easy to deal with, right? Sealeo, again, also a little bit of a problem. For Swampert, I switch immediately into my Ludicolo, which doesn't honestly have the best matchup against Shadow Sealeo, especially if you're not running Razor Leaf. As you can see, they're going to be able to spam those body slams, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to shield this up, and I'm going to bait with an Ice Beam. Because I don't want to lower my attack by using Leaf Storm, and I'm gonna want them to think that I'm gonna be using Ice Beam again, right? So we get a shield, which is perfect, and I'm able to get to the Leaf Storm right now. I'm really hopeful that they think that this is another Ice Beam, but they do, and they let that go through. Leaf Storm just one shots it right there. Out comes a Marshtomp, which is definitely by no stretch of imagination is a counter to a Ludicolo. They go for the Mud Bomb here. I go into my Abomasnow. This tells me that they probably don't have a counter to a Grass type. They actually have a Bastiodon, and at this point we have switch advantage, and this is absolutely perfect. I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake right now. This will one-shot or get the shield from the Bastiodon. It does one-shot right here, and there's nothing that Marshtomp can do, right? I'm just going to completely let everything go through here. It is going to be a Mud Bomb, and I'm hopefully able to get to a Hydro Cannon, which I am able to get to. And this should get the shield or take out the Marshtomp, right? And it does get the shield. At this point, this game is over because... And also they decide to fire off a move as well. And it's going to take out the Swampert, and I can just come in and my Abomasnow, go for the Energy Ball here, and this will absolutely destroy the Marshtomp here. Again, like I said, Mud Boys is just so common in this meta, and having that second Grass type in the back, a lot of people will not expect. So that's, I guess, a typical Bastiodon Grass team comp. But anyways, moving on to the next one here, we have Swampert into a Froslass. Froslass definitely another interesting pick in this meta. They make a switch into their Jellicent right now. So I'm actually going to switch into my Ludicolo here. And honestly could have switched into either of my Ludicolo or Abomasnow, but I felt like Ludicolo can tank Shadow Balls a little bit better. So I'm going to go for the Leaf Storm right away here. This will one-shot the Jellicent or hopefully get that shield. And it does get the shield, which is okay. And at this point, they're probably going to look to farm down, but they're not. I mean, because we are going to get to another move. They decide to fire off another Shadow Ball here, which they do. And at this point, I can just come in with my Abomasnow right now, and I can go for the Leaf Storm here, or Energy Ball, right? I'm going to soak up the Shadow Ball here. It does about 60% of Abomasnow's health, and I'm able to get to this Energy Ball as well. And this Energy Ball will be taking out the Jellicent if they don't give up their final shield, and as it does there, which is fantastic. And back in comes Froslass. I was trying to go for the Earthquake right away to catch them off guard. Unfortunately, I end up losing CMP tie. So at this point, I'm just going to go for the Earthquake right now. This will be pretty much one-shotting the Froslass. The reason I went for the Earthquake is because Hydro Cannon will not one-shot it, but Earthquake will. Out comes the Cradily. So I'm just going to go for the Hydro Cannon here. Both Hydro Cannon and Earthquake are neutral in this matchup because of the Rock Grass typing. And I'm not going to be able to get to an Earthquake, so I'm just going to go for the second Hydro Cannon. It's going to do quite a bit of neutral damage. As you can see, it does about 60% of neutral damage. And but the problem is that they have a lot of energy here, right? I'm hopeful that I can get to a Weather Ball, but I'm barely not able to get to it. They're able to get to another Grass Knot here. Unfortunately, they farmed up so much energy by farming down the Swampert, and that was a pretty tough loss there. So moving on to the next battle here, we have Swampert into a Jellicent. Once again, not a great matchup here. I'm going to stay in for a little bit. I'm going to look to catch the Shadow Ball on my Ludicolo here. Again, it's going to do about 50 to 60% of Ludicolo's health, which is fine. And at this point, they actually bring their own Ludicolo because I'm slightly ahead in energy. I'm able to get to a Leaf Storm here. Both Leaf Storm and Ice Beam are neutral in this matchup, but Leaf Storm is obviously a better move. Has Stab, and yeah, I'm not really worried about lowering my attack because these bubble damage is basically going to do nothing. So I just let that go through. I'm going to come into my Abomasnow here, farm up as much as I can, and go for the Weather Ball first, and yeah, obviously Weather Ball is going to do quite a bit of damage. And at this point, I'm okay letting this go through whatever this is. It's not that big of a deal. If it's an Ice Beam, doesn't have stab, doesn't do too much damage. Gonna farm up as much as I can, go for another Weather Ball here right now. This is obviously gonna KO the Ludicolo from this range, as it does there. And the back end comes Jellicent. I'm gonna go for an Energy Ball right now. Energy Ball will hopefully take it out or get the final shield. Actually, pretty much kind of almost takes it out. I'm able to come into my Swampert and I'm able to farm down whatever they have in the back is probably weak. They probably had a fire type in the back, but whatever it is, we were able to take that game there. So moving on to the next battle here, we have Swampert into an Abomasnow here. Absolutely terrible. Most likely they're running Razor Leaf, so I switch right away because they're actually running Powder Snow. If they're running Powder Snow, you're okay staying in for a little bit. But the reason I switch out right away is because Razor Leaf just does so much damage, right? I don't want to risk staying in and losing pretty much like 25-30% of Swampert's health. Charge move coming through from the Abomasnow. It's going to be a Weather Ball here, which is fine. They're probably going to get to another Weather Ball right now. I'm going to just let it go through right now. It's okay. It's going to be a Weather Ball. And at this point, I'm going to fully wait out the switch clock and come in with my own Abomasnow. So I'm going to come to my Abomasnow here. They're probably going to get to another Weather Ball before I can get to mine. I'm going to let this go through as well. It is neutral. It's not going to do too much damage though. Does a decent amount of damage. I'm going to try to farm down. Unfortunately, they get to another one. That's okay. I'm going to shield this up and I'm going to look to completely farm. This is not a great situation to be in, but they make a switch into their Poliwrath, which is a difficult Pokemon to deal with for this team. I bait with Weather Ball and now I'm going to go for the Energy Ball here. I'm really hoping they let this go through because I really need to get this Poliwrath out of here, right? But they doubled shield, which is unfortunate for me. And at this point, they're going to go probably for the Ice Punch here. And they're probably going to beat me to the second Ice Punch, right? I'm not going to get to the Energy Ball on time, which is why I switch into my Swampert to catch the Ice Punch. And Ice Punch is going to do a decent amount of damage, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get to a Earthquake before they can get to a Scald or a Dynamic Punch, whichever they're running. So I just go for the Hydro Cannon here to just try and do as much chip damage as I can. And now out comes the Whiscash. So I go for the Hydro Cannon here, and Hydro Cannon is going to do quite a bit of damage against Whiscash. Hopefully put it into Weather Ball range. But they did farm quite a bit of extra energy, right? They definitely have more than just a Mud Bomb. So they go for the Mud Bomb here. So I'm going to have to come in with my Abomasnow and look to CMP tie them on the Mud Bomb, which I do right there. So I go for the Weather Ball just before they can get, or just as they get to a Mud Bomb. Unfortunately, this Poliwrath has a lot of energy, right? I wanted to ideally farm up a little bit more, but I couldn't have farmed up any more because Whiscash would have got to a Mud Bomb. But unfortunately, this means that Poliwrath is able to get to a move. And down goes Abomasnow. So moving on to the next battle here, we have Swampert into a Cradily. Pretty negative matchup. We lost to Cradily the last time around. This time, let's see how we played out. So I go into my Ludicolo here. They come in with their Alolan Sandslash. Not an ideal situation to be in. We got hard countered in the lead. Pretty much kind of hard countered on the save swap as well. I mean, it's obviously not the best matchup, especially if you're not running Hydro Pump. Having Ice Beam and Leaf Storm means that it kind of completely walls Ludicolo, right? But we get a shield, which is really nice. I'm okay. I'll just take a shield advantage at this point. I'm going to let this Ludicolo go down. I'm going to basically come back in with Swampert and farm a little bit, throw the Hydro Cannon here before they can get to an Ice Punch. I do go for the Hydro Cannon and it does get the shield, which is very interesting. And at this point, I think they got a bit greedy. They farmed up a little bit too much. And this allowed me to get to another Hydro Cannon, basically wasting all their energy. At this point, we've gotten so far ahead in this matchup. I switched in my Abomasnow to catch a move. I know this is not going to be a Stone Edge because they were intending to throw in Swampert. It's a Grass Knot. And at this point, they could probably be going for a Stone Edge. But before that, I'm able to get to a Weather Ball here. Weather Ball is going to do massive, super effective damage. And this is definitely going to be a Stone Edge. I'm going to shield this up. I'm going to look to fully farm down the Cradily. And yeah, I'm going to fully farm it down here. And let's see what they have in the back. They actually concede the match. They probably had another Water type in the back. And yeah, there's no way they were going to win that. So moving on to the next one here, we have Swampert into an Azumarill. Kind of a neutral matchup this. Obviously slightly skewed in favor of Azumarill, especially if you're not running Sludge Wave. But I'm going to shield this up here and I'm going to look to catch the next move on my Ludicolo. So I'm going to go for the Earthquake right now. It's going to do quite a bit of damage against Azumarill. Hopefully they will get a shield though. We do, they probably think it's a Sludge Wave, but at this point I'm going to catch the next move on my Ludicolo. It's going to be an Ice Beam, it's going to do quite a bit of damage, but not too much though, and I'm hoping to bait out whatever counter they have to their Grass type, right? And which is going to be an Alolan Ninetales here, which is fine. I'm going to go for the Leaf Storm right away here. This is going to do massive neutral damage, does about 80% of Alolan Ninetales' health, and I'm able to get to an Ice Beam. Unfortunately, we lose CMP, which is okay. They go for a Weather Ball, which is fine. I can basically come in with my Swampert and look to completely farm down this Alolan Ninetales. So gonna come with my Swampert here. We have so much energy right now, and if the Azu comes back in, I'm just gonna go for the Earthquake right away. I don't expect them to shield this. It's still gonna do quite a bit of damage. Pretty much almost takes out the Azumarill here. Charge move coming through from the Azumarill. It's gonna be an Ice Beam. I definitely am shielding this because I'm not sure what they have in the back. They could have a Fire type in the back, but I'm not completely sure. I switch into my Abomasnow and farm it down, and they have a Lanturn in the back, and this game is absolutely over right now. There's nothing Lanturn can do against an Abomasnow. Also, we have a loaded Earthquake on Swampert, and any number of Surfs or Thunderbolts they throw is not going to be enough. So I'm just going to go for the Energy Ball right away just in case they don't shield. I don't really want to bait in this matchup because we have a loaded energy on Swampert. So they're going to have to shield one of these anyways. Another Charge move coming through. Like I said, it really doesn't matter what it is. It's a Surf. I'm able to get to another Energy Ball as well. And Energy Ball is going to do massive super effective damage. It wasn't going to one-shot Lanturn though. It is quite bulky. But I should be able to get to a Weather Ball in time. And this is going to be taking out the Lanturn there. So even if we hadn't gotten to it, like I said, Swampert had so much energy that we could have taken that game anyways. So moving on to the next one here. It's a bit of a long video because I just want to showcase all different types of matchups. I mean, all the timestamps are in the link in the description below. But anyways, moving on to the next one here. They switched it to their Poliwrath. I switched into my Ludicolo right now. And Charge move coming through. I mean, Poliwrath, definitely a bit of a tricky Pokemon. We did lose to Poliwrath the last time around. I go for the Ice Beam Shield Bait once again here, hoping that they shield the first time and hopefully they think it's an Ice Beam the second time as well. And they don't shield because I really need to get the Poliwrath out of here. Charge move coming through. They bait me with Scald. Unfortunately, we definitely could have survived that because that is double resisted. And I go for the Leaf Storm right now. And Leaf Storm basically gets the shield, which is not ideal, right? And now they make a switch back into their Alolan Sandslash. I should have basically come in and gone for the Earthquake right away. I just panic clicked the Hydro Cannon on the CMP tied to an Ice Punch, which is fine. Charge Boom coming through. It's going to be an Ice Punch here. And I'm going to look to farm down right now. Unfortunately, they get to another move. I'm definitely shielding this up because I have a lot of energy on my Swampert. And I'm expecting the Poliwrath to come back in and throw a move, right? And which is why I decided to fire off the Hydro Cannon right away because this is going to be on CMP right now. It's not going to KO. Still does quite a bit of damage to Poliwrath. It is a CMP, as you can see right there. And let's see what they decide to do. They actually do go for Dynamic Punch, which is perfect. I can come in my Ludicolo here and I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam right away because I know Poliwrath has a lot of energy. So I just want to get the Poliwrath out of here. And now I can come in my Abomasnow. They have a Lanturn on the back and there's nothing they can do right now. They decide to concede the match there. So moving on to what I believe is the final battle of the video, where we have Swampert into a Ludicolo once again. Not the most ideal matchup here. I switch immediately into my own Ludicolo right now and they come in with their Legacy Seaking. It's been a long time since I've seen a triple Legacy Seaking in the Go Battle League. It used to be very common back in the day. But anyways, at this point I go for the Ice Beam and I'm barely able to get to a Leaf Storm as well. They're gonna either give up their second shield or they're basically going to lose all that energy and get one shot right there. That is absolutely beautiful because at this point we managed to win switch advantage and I can have my Abomasnow on their Ludicolo. Honestly, if I had lost switch, that would have been very hard because they could have had their Ludicolo on Swampert, right? This is a really good matchup for Abomasnow, especially against a Razor Leaf Ludicolo. I can just spam these Weather Balls right now and hopefully whatever they have in the back is weak to Swampert here. They make a switch into their Magcargo. This is hard counter city right here. There's absolutely nothing Magcargo can do. I'm just going to fire off the Hydro Cannon before they can even get to a move. Hydro Cannon will be taking out the Magcargo. I just go for the Hydro Cannon, which is double resisted against Ludicolo. It doesn't really matter. This is not going to KO, but I can just come in with my Abomasnow, and Abomasnow is going to be able to fully farm down this Ludicolo as well. So winning switch advantage was pretty much everything. Honestly, if I had lost it, I would have lost this game. And like I said, this team comp honestly worked out really well for me. We finished with another pretty positive set here. This was a 4-in-1 set to kind of finish it off. And like I said, this is a very, very effective team comp. These are still earlier ranks, so you can't read too much into it, I know, but I feel like this can definitely work in the higher ranks as well. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.